Hello, everyone. This is Gary Ryan here with you with a Fed League Flash video on YouTube on Tuesday. Incredible. This is the best day of work I've had in a month. All right, so, wow, a lot happened today. First of all, we have a ton of PTOs and signings, and I'm sure you've looked at the Fed site and said, yeah, some of these names I recognize, others, who are these guys? We'll break it down. Okay, starting off with the Motor City Rockers. They signed to PTO Daniil Yakimchuk. He has played the last 2 years, one in Finland and one in United Arab Emirates. I know that sounds strange, but uh, hockey's a global game now. All right, so in the last 2 years, in 36 games, Yakimchuk has scored 28 goals, 29 assists, 57 points. So there's a lot of offensive potential there for the Rockers. So hey, why not? There's talent everywhere. All right, Elmira, the River Sharks, getting used to saying that, brought back a face that is familiar to a lot of us in the Fed. Not in Elmira, but I think you're going to like this. Kodiak White Duck. He last played for a few games with the Danbury Hat Tricks beginning last year, played the first 9 games. And White Duck's got some Fed experience. He's got 53 games under his belt, 7 goals, 11 assists, and is a very hard-nosed, gritty player. So looking to add some toughness and a little finesse as well to the Elmira roster. All right, next we have Carolina. A couple signings. First, forward Hunter Ellens. Everybody's going, who is he? Okay, he's played the last 3 years in the Michigan Independent Hockey League, and has done very well for the Gaylord Snow. 31 games, 45. 31 goals, 45 assists, 76 points in 31 games. So this dude can score, and he's been working really hard. The MIHL is continuing to become a nice, I won't call it a breeding ground, but a development area for talent. So Hunter is looking to add his offense to the Thunderbirds. Also, the Thunderbirds, the Carolina folks are going to like this signing. Defenseman Christian Stuckey, he goes by CJ. And he has played the last 2 years in the USPHL with the Carolina Junior Hurricanes. 8 goals, 46 assists in 2 years. So this guy obviously has graduated the premier level and is now ready to go pro. So there's 2 signings for Carolina. And then this was the good news. I was glad to see that Baton Rouge and Wytheville finally did something. I honestly was getting worried. I'm thinking, okay, we're not hearing anything going on by either of these 2 clubs. So we have a bunch of signings. Baton Rouge has 4. The first one was a little curious, I thought. Bronson Holtkamp, forward, last played for the Utah Spiders of the Mountain West Hockey League. That was 7 years ago. He's a 35-year-old veteran. So, hey, more power to you. All right. The next 3 names, I think a lot of you will recognize. First of all, Ollie Venstrom. He signs a PTO with Baton Rouge. He played 20 games this last year, a few games in Elmira, a few games in Delaware, a few games in Danbury. 5 goals, 5 assists. And I'm really surprised that he didn't stick in any of those places. But nonetheless, Ollie Venstrom is getting another shot at some time in the FPHL. And then there's the big signing, Parker Moskal. You all know Parker. Um, Immense offensive talent. Last year, in 43 games played, he tallied 29 goals, 42 assists, 71 points overall. Started the year in Elmira, went to Watertown. He was released by the Wolves. At the time he was released, he was the number 4 scorer in the league. Um, a lot of offense there. Over 100 games in his Fed career, he has notched 176 points. And that's over the span of like about 5 years, 6 different teams he's played for. So, yeah. Anyway, the other signing by Baton Rouge was Dylan Farmer. He can play defense primarily, but he also can play forward. He spent a few games in Danville, a few games in Carolina, a few games in Columbus. Has an assist in 12 games played. All right, then Wytheville. There's a lot here. 9 signings. Now, some of these people were on the roster, being drafted, but these are officially, they're signing with the team. All right, first Zach Tattern. He's another. I don't want to say retread. That sounds harsh. He's been out for a while, but he's back. 102 games in his Fed career, 33 goals, 63 assists, 96 points. The last action he had in the Fed was with the Prowlers back in the 2016 to 17 season. So it's been a while. Jacob Wolf is back. Of course, he split the year last year between Elmira and Delaware. 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points in 73 games overall in his Fed career. Last year, 50 games played, 7 goals, 9 assists. So, and he's one of those utility knife kind of guys. All right. Next, we have, Andrei Ivanov, who played defense for Delaware last year. 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points. Good steady presence on the back end. Then we had Dylan Farrell Remy, who has 3 games of Fed experience previously with North Shore and also with Danbury. So there you go. All right, some newer talent coming in. We have Brad Arnott. Is that who I had listed next? Well, no, but okay. I'm sorry. Well, Brad Arnott. We'll get to him. Played marvelously last year in the GMHL, which is Junior A, with the Bradford Bulls, and 40 games played, 38 points. A lot of nice offensive totals there. All right. Then we have Anton Shapansky, who played in the VHL. Now, the VHL is kind of like the Continental Hockey League's version of the AHL. It's a league below the KHL. Vitaly Kratsov, formerly of the New York Rangers, spent some time in the VHL. He's played at a pretty good high level. Also, the last 2 years he's played with Slovenia, 24 games played, 18 goals, 25 assists, 43 points. Not too bad. And then we get to, I mentioned Brad Arnott. We have 3 players, and we're just going to mention the names. Nico Alexandri, Asir Alexandrovich, and Edward Chekmar. No information at all on any hockey database with these 3. So they're mystery players. Alexandri and Chekmar are listed as forwards. There's not even a position listed for Alexandrovich. So I'm sitting there going, not sure, but anyway. So those are the 9 players that are signed by the Wytheville Whozits, or whatever they're going to be called. Didn't mention the Baton Rouge Whatevers. I just read a comment on Facebook just a bit ago. I was like, All right, we're 4 months in. How much longer are we going to wait for a name? Yeah. All right. The last piece of news, and we'll slide this up here a little bit. The Black Bears also signing a player. They have signed a returning player, Brendan Stanko, who joined the team late last year, graduate of Adrian College, teammate of Connor Smith, who signed a few days ago with the Black Bears. Stanko had 3 assists in 5 games, but the numbers that really struck out to me were he's a +5, and he had 23 shots on goal. He also, most of those 5 games, he was playing as a line mate to Connor Smith, setting Smith up. As you saw, he had the 3 assists. So there's another addition to the Black Bears. The other news, and this was from the thumbnail that I put in the front of this video, the Black Bears have signed an affiliation agreement with the Northumberland Stars of the GMHL. That's the Greater Metro Hockey League. They're a junior A hockey league that's around the Toronto area. So now people are saying, well, what does this mean? Is this like an NHL, AHL thing? No, not really. It's not like that. It's more of a two-way partnership. Some of the players from Northumberland will be invited, or Northampton. Why did I say Northumberland? All right, Northampton Stars. Forgive me. It's been a rough few weeks of work. Anyway, a few of the players will be invited to the free agent camp that the Black Bears are hosting in the Chicago area later this summer. And as well, this also helps with recruitment of new talent into the GMHL. Now, the GMHL, just to explain this really briefly, again, they're junior A. These are basically for junior players who are no longer age eligible for the Canadian Hockey League, the premier junior league that you see in Canada, WHL, QMJHL, and OHL. But these are still players that are playing, looking for an opportunity to further their career, whether they go to Europe, whether they go someplace else in North America for pro. So this is kind of like a you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours type of situation. So anyway, the nice thing is God forbid there is a rash of injuries, you have to have an emergency call up. Yeah, you can. Binghamton can call somebody up from the Stars, and they can join the team. Columbus has had an agreement like this with the Bradford Bulls for the last 5 years. Nobody really talked about this. And I think we're going to see more teams doing this. As a matter of fact, there are preliminary reports that another team over the next few days is going to announce an affiliation agreement with a GMHL team. So it's a good way to streamline some talent into the Fed. So I think it's a good thing. Obviously, more talent, more jobs. It's a good thing. So there you go. There is a lot of stuff that happened today, and we tried to sum it up as quickly as possible. Running up on 14 minutes now, so we're going to close this. All right. As far as I know, next video will be for Saturday. It'll be a pre-recorded episode because I've got commitments on Saturday. But anyway, until Thursday. Thursday is a Spotify podcast. We'll be doing that. Until then, hope that you'll listen into there. Thank you very much for your support. Appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. All that good jazz. Thank you. I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash.